Hey guys, today we're gonna do something that I feel like we just did, like very recently, because Bella Beaute Bar has come out with another new palette, and this is called the Recently Deinfluenced. And I don't know why these are launching so close together. I'm a little bit confused because I feel like both of them are sort of Halloween-y color stories. So I'm like, is one of these a Halloween palette? Is one of these just like a random release? I don't know. Did one of them like get pushed back or something? Again, I don't know. But I'm still very excited because this palette is a beautiful, beautiful palette. Like this color story, oh, it's so inspiring to me, and I feel like there's so many things you can do with this. And I love the shimmers in it. They are incredible. Like, just look at these swatches. Just look at the shifts on them and the shine on them and just how sparkly they are. I just want to put them all on my eyes, which obviously I can't do that because I only have two eyes, which is very sad, but I am going to show you two looks with this. It's really all I'm going to have time for before this launches. It does launch on September 20th at 12 p.m. EST and is going to retail for $69. I do have an affiliated code with Bella Beaute Bar. It's just Annette, and it will save you 10% off, so it will help you save a little bit of money if you're interested in this palette. But this is really, really pretty. So I really want to play with this again, and I've done one look. I'll show you that after. And I feel like because I'm wearing like the only colors I'm wearing today is basically like this blue, and I'm wearing silver jewelry, which might have been a mistake with this palette because this is very warm toned. So now I'm like, can I make this work and still be cohesive? So maybe I'll try to use some of the shades that I feel like other people maybe aren't going to be using. So I want to do like the green with like maybe this iridescent shade, maybe this one. I've already kind of used these two together, so I don't think I want to dip into the oranges because I know a lot of people are probably going to use those together with the reds. So I want to play more in like this family because also it's just what I'm feeling today. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and get started because I don't like to ramble in my intros, and I don't like when other people ramble in their intros. So we're just gonna go ahead and put some eyeshadow on because that is the fun part. Just primed with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base like I always do, and I think I'm going to, let's see, I think I want to use the green as sort of my transition shade and then deepen it up with this shade. Even though they're sort of the same depth, I'm gonna maybe try to shear this out a little bit and see how it blends out. So we're gonna start with this one. This one is called Monetize. And I'm gonna do that pretty much in most of my crease, but I'm gonna leave some room in the outer corner for that darker shade because I don't want to really blend these two together too much. So you can definitely shear this out. I did tap off my brush, and I'm trying to go in kind of lightly with this because, like I said, I want to kind of use it as my transition shade, but also I am going to build it up on its own to see what it looks like. But that is a really pretty green shade. I really like that color. It definitely looks lighter on the eyes if you go in lighter handed, I guess, which is a good thing. Like, I like shades that you can work with in this way because it just makes them more versatile. So I'm just gonna take my time here and get this to be the way that I want it to be and get a nice blend. So I think this is looking good for now. I'm just gonna take it kind of one step at a time and see where we end up. I'm next gonna go into the shade called Authenticity, which is this one, and I'm gonna use that in the outer corner of my eye. I might take this shade underneath my eye as well. We'll see how it ends up looking when I've gotten this on this part of my eye. I'm wondering how these are gonna kind of blend together. I feel like it'll be okay and it shouldn't get too muddy. But blending a green into a purple might not be like the best idea color theory wise, but I think they're dark enough that they shouldn't like muddy up too much. And I think this is looking pretty good. Like, these are layering on top of each other very nicely, and the formula is like thick enough that it covers whatever you put it on top of. So yeah, I think I like how that is looking. I think I'm gonna take this under my eye as well. And I promise this is going to come together once I get the shimmers on my lid. I know it's looking a little bit crazy right now, but just trust the process like I always say. I'm just gonna connect this to the upper portion. And don't worry, I'm not completely done blending anything out yet. I just kind of want to put down the colors first. Not gonna take this all the way. I do want to have room for a shimmer down here as well. And I'm just gonna now start working on the outer edge. I like using the small pencil brush like this so that I can get a sharp kind of, not a graphic shape, maybe it is a graphic shape. I don't want this to be super blended in the outer part. I want to keep this sort of graphic without being graphic, if you know what I mean. So I think that blend on the outer part is looking very good on that eye. Just gonna blend a little bit underneath my eye here, and then we're gonna go in with the shimmers, and I think I'm only going to use 2. I say that now and I'll probably end up using 3, but I think I'm gonna use these 2 on my lid. Actually, maybe I'll use these on my lid, like this purple, this really beautiful, how would I even explain that, like green, blue, turquoise duochrome, and then probably a bit of this one underneath my eye here just to sort of tie it all together color-wise. So I'm gonna put on some glitter primer first because I do like doing that, especially with shimmers that are this sparkly and kind of, some of these are a little bit on the sheer side, especially the ones that I'm going to use today. So this will just make them a little bit more opaque. And I feel like since I had very dark colors underneath, that's going to help them kind of blend together a little bit better. So I'm gonna start with this shade, I think, which is a shade called Bold Glamour. And I think this is gonna look absolutely stunning. And I'm just gonna do that basically from the middle of my lid and then blend it outwards into that matte shade. And like I always do, I'll probably put on too much of this because you guys know me, I cannot help myself, especially with shades like this. I end up taking them all over because they're so pretty. And it just layers so nicely over that dark matte as well. I'm next going to take the other shade, which is the shade called Backlash. I'm just taking that on the same brush. This is one of my unearthly brushes. It's the UC85. I don't know if these are sold individually or not, but I really like them actually. I think they're great small detail brushes. Especially this one. It's probably the smallest kind of flat brush that I have for shimmers, and I find that it fits very nicely into like the front portion of my lid. Oh, look at those. Look at those together. That is, oh my god, those are like a match made in heaven, and I wasn't sure if they were gonna go together at all, but I am so happy I decided to pair these because they look absolutely stunning. Wow, like this, I love this shade. Like I can definitely see myself dipping into this palette just because of this shade, because iridescent shades like this make me so happy. Oh, I love it so much. And just because I am extra, which you all know, so that's no surprise, I'm gonna take the shade Viral, which I did use pretty much on my entire lid, I think, in the first look, so you'll see that in a little bit, but I liked it so much that I would like to use it again, so I'm just gonna take the tiniest amount of this just right underneath my eye here, because I feel like since we have the more purpley shade, this is just gonna layer so nicely over that. I love that. It just adds like a little bit of warmth to the look without, you know, like switching up the entire look. It just makes it a little more interesting to look at. So I think that's all I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off with some liner, mascara, and lashes and stuff like that. And I'll come back and show you the other look. And this is where we are at, and I really like this look. I think it turned out so good. I am using the Dreamer lashes, I think from Unicorn Cosmetics, just making sure my lash glue is dry. It's not completely dry, but that is okay. Let me go ahead and show you the other look that I've done with this palette as well. So I did this look, I want to say 2 days ago, and I had a really, really good time with this palette. I think that everything performs great. Like I've been just so impressed by Bella Beaute Bar in the past like 5 releases or something. I've always liked the brand, but I feel like they just keep getting better and better and better. And honestly, I feel like they have one of the best formulas on the indie market, not just for shimmers, but for mattes as well. I still think that Blend Bunny mattes are my favorites, but it's very close. I do think the Bella Beaute Bar mattes are really, really nice as well. And I think this whole palette is a palette that a lot of people are going to get a lot of use out of, but it also could be a companion palette for a lot of people. I can see that because there aren't really a lot of light mattes in this. If you're someone who likes very light transition shades, you might find this to be lacking that, but if you don't care, I think you'd really like this palette. And if you don't mind using palettes together, I think you would also love this palette. I personally can definitely see myself using this as a companion palette. I think that there are so many beautiful individual tones in here that I find myself probably wanting to reach for more than reaching for this palette as a whole, as a standalone palette. Even though I do think the color story is beautiful, I feel like there are just individual shades in this that I would gravitate towards using together with something else. But I still think if you like this color story, I think you're gonna love this palette. And like I said, the formula is great. I don't really have any complaints at all. I think there are a lot of very beautiful special shades in this that maybe you don't already have in your collection. Like the shade that I have on my front portion of my lid is so pretty. And I might have something similar, maybe from Terra Moons, maybe from Cleona, but I don't think like identical, not exactly the same. And I love it. Like, I really want to do another look with this shade, like using other things in my crease or even using like neutrals in my crease, and this all over the lid would look so beautiful. So I have so many ideas when it comes to this and so many things that I want to do with this palette, and so many of these shimmers that I still want to keep trying because they're stunning. So I think I'm just going to keep this review kind of short and sweet. But yeah, let me know if you're interested in picking up this palette. Let me know if you have something from Bella Beaute Bar and what your favorite palette from them is. I don't think I could choose, honestly. Right now there are so many of them that I absolutely love. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you want to see some more Bella Beaute Bar content, I will put my playlist up on the screen, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.